Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into large language models. You know, the AI you're probably interacting with every single day. I want you to imagine hiring the smartest, most well-read intern in the entire world. I mean, this intern has literally memorized every book, every article, and every manual ever written. But here's the catch. They've never actually stepped outside into the real world. They have zero common sense, and they take absolutely everything you say entirely literally. That's essentially what it's like working with artificial intelligence right now. So we're going to break down exactly what happens when technical brilliance meets contextual cluelessness.
If you're just starting out with these tools, you've probably felt this exact frustration. You've got a crystal clear idea in your head, right? You type it out, hit enter, and the response you get back is just bizarre. Honestly, it's almost like you're speaking to an alien who learned human behavior strictly from reading an encyclopedia. The grammar is perfect, all the words are there, but that fundamental understanding of how we as human beings actually operate, completely missing. So why exactly does that happen?
To really understand these abstract technical limitations, we need to ground them in something superhuman and relatable. So, for the rest of this explainer, we're going to use one continuous scenario. We're going to ask our brilliant literal AI intern to help us plan a surprise office birthday party. Think about it. A highly social, logistically complex, and nuance-heavy event. What could possibly go wrong? Well, quite a lot, as we're about to find out.
Section 1. The Party Planning Problem. Meet your literal intern.
Section 2. Missing the punchline, the social disconnect.
All right, let's dive into how AI completely misreads the room socially. Human interactions aren't just data points, right? They're packed with unspoken rules and layered meanings. Let's say you ask the AI to write a funny invitation for the party. You want something with subtle humor. But large language models struggle massively here. Why is that? Well, humor relies on timing. It relies on subverting expectations, taking a sharp left turn when the listener expects you to go right. But AI fundamentally operates by prioritizing the most probable, mathematically likely sequence of words. It wants to go straight. It predicts the expected, meaning it entirely misses the punchline that requires that deep, unpredictable, non-linear human connection. So your funny invite ends up sounding like a dry corporate memo that's just trying way too hard.
And this brilliantly illustrates its struggle with irony. Let's say you're brainstorming the guest list with your AI, and you casually type, "Yeah, definitely invite the boss who hates parties. That'll go over great." Now, as humans, we instantly recognize the irony there. We know you mean the exact opposite of what you're saying. But the AI? Without the benefit of social cues, or eye rolls, or vocal tone, it takes your sarcastic remark entirely literally. Next thing you know, it's drafted a formal, glowing invitation to the one person who will absolutely ruin the vibe. It's a massive misinterpretation.
Section 3. Trapped in the Logic. Illusions of Reasoning.
Moving on to actual event logistics, let's see how this builds into major logical failures. Social cues are one thing, but surely our genius intern can handle the basic reasoning required to put an event together, right? Well, not necessarily. Imagine you give the AI slightly conflicting instructions. You say, hey, it's a complete surprise. Nobody can know. But also, make sure everyone coordinates wearing bright neon colors. You've just created a paradox. When faced with contradictory content or conflicting data like this, the AI doesn't pause and ask you to clarify. Instead, it hallucinates a logical bridge that simply doesn't exist in reality. It struggles to reconcile opposing truths, often defaulting to this weird, inaccurate middle ground. Like, it might suggest sending a company-wide email explicitly explaining the secret surprise party so they know to wear neon. It attempts to satisfy both rules and ends up breaking the entire concept.
Notice how the multi-step math for the party's pizza budget breaks down here too. You might ask it to calculate the cost for 50 people, assuming 3 slices each, with a 15% discount on orders over 10 pies, divided across 3 departments. Wow, okay. While AI is absolutely amazing at recognizing language patterns, it can spectacularly fail at complex reasoning and math. If it makes one wrong assumption in step 1, the whole result is completely ruined. This is because it's merely predicting the next likely step in the text, rather than truly calculating the overarching mathematical solution like a real calculator would. It's basically guessing the shape of the answer based on its training data, rather than actually doing the hard arithmetic.
Section 4. The Ambiguity Trap, the Context Void.
As our party planning sort of spirals out of control here, we hit the final set of limitations. And this is all about how we actually give instructions. Let's say you review the AI's party itinerary, and honestly, it's a bit boring. So you give it a super ambiguous instruction. You just type, make it better. But what does better actually mean? Does it mean cheaper, more professional, wilder, shorter? Because your prompt has multiple meanings and 0 specific constraints, the AI is forced to just guess your intent.
Without you steering the ship, the output might be completely irrelevant to your actual goal. It might decide better means adding a 3-hour mandatory team-building seminar to your surprise birthday party. No thanks.
This happens because the AI completely lacks real-world experience. It doesn't know your specific office culture. Vague contexts are truly the enemy of good output. If you don't explicitly provide the who, what, and why, who the party is for, what the vibe should be, and exactly why we're celebrating, the model simply reaches into its massive generic training data to fill in the gaps. It'll give you a cookie-cutter party plan that might work for some generic textbook company, but absolutely will not fit your unique, fast-paced, highly caffeinated professional situation.
Section 5. The Golden Rule. Clarity is key.
So how do we successfully fix this and plan this party, or really accomplish any task, with our brilliant but painfully literal intern? Well, it all boils down to one foundational principle. The clearer you are, the better the response. This is your ultimate takeaway today. Extreme clarity is your only real defense against the AI's lack of social cues, its failure to grasp irony, its tendency to hallucinate through contradictions, and its absolute void of real-world context. You have to be the one who brings the humanity, the specific context, and the strict constraints to the table. You just cannot assume the AI knows what you mean. You really have to spell it out exactly.
Understanding these limitations doesn't make AI less powerful. It actually empowers you to use it correctly. Once you stop expecting a magical mind reader and start managing it like a literal intern, your results will absolutely skyrocket. So, here is my challenge for you as we wrap up this explainer. Are you ready to be perfectly clear? The next time you sit down to prompt your AI, how are you going to change your approach to guarantee you get exactly what you need? Think about the who, what, and why. Eliminate the irony and bring the clarity. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy prompting.